So here's the beginning of our chicken project. It does appear that I have decided to spend probably close to $1,000 just so we can save money from not having to buy eggs. But my wife told me last year she wanted chickens, so she's going to have chickens. And I'm going to make sure they have a good place to be, because we surely don't want any predators getting to them. So this is the first load of lumber, and hopefully the only load of lumber from Lowe's. I've got 4 sheets of OSB under there, and 2 different sizes of decking screws, star drive decking screws, that I'll be using to put this project together with. And I thought I would just take a few short videos as we did the chicken pen build. We're looking at a pen that's going to be 6 feet wide, 12 feet long. 3 feet of one end of that will be the roosting area, raised roosting area, so they can still have the full 12 feet to walk. And I've still got a few things I need to pick up. I still need to get the hardware cloth. I am going to put shingles on top of this. So I'm going to have to get shingles, and I'm just waiting on final measurement. Once I get the OSB up on the roof, take the final measurement and find out exactly how many squares of shingles I'm going to need for that. And I misremembered on the size of the hardware cloth, and I ended up not buying it this trip, and I came to find out that I had remembered incorrectly. So I need to go back and get the hardware cloth that we're going to use to screen it in with. But that's several weeks down the pipe. Got a lot of framing to do, and need to get it done in a hurry. It is March 20th, 2013, and we're going to be going on vacation for a week, first full week of April. And once we get back from that, it'll be time to get the baby chicks. And then I'm only going to have a couple weeks before I'm really going to have this ready for them to start acclimating to and moving in. So between the responsibilities of being a father and a husband, I somehow have to figure out how I'm going to also work 2 jobs and build this chicken pen. I'm going to pause for just a second and go take you and just show you where we're planning on putting this pen. Nice little out of the way place. Got more energy than you know what to do with, don't you? I wish you had opposable thumbs. I'd put you to work. So this is the area that we're planning on putting the chicken pen. It's right in the edge of our planted pines here, and it's right next to our service pole. That guy wire will be very close, but it's not actually going to be in the way, unless I've completely forgotten how to read a tape measure. But we're going to put them in right here. It's already nice and level for the most part. It shouldn't take much work at all. That scrub tree is going to have to go. And you see in there's an old barn that eventually I will be taking down and putting up a steel building that we can use for storage, and so I'll have a little shop space of my own. But for now, I didn't want to put the chicken pen anywhere where it was going to eventually have to be moved. And if I put it over here, that tree you see right there is the first tree in the first row once you get past the past where this barn area is. So if I put the chicken pen right here, it's going to pretty much be out of the way forever. I think that little scrub tree is going to have to go as well. And probably trim a branch or two off a couple of these pines, but that no problem there. We have the tools and the technology. So hopefully tomorrow I will be able to come out here after work and do a little bit of work clearing the underbrush, clearing out the pine needles, making sure everything's good and level, and laying out some 6x12 shovel width trenches to start framing up the bottom of the chicken pen. The baseboard, if you will, of the chicken pen, it's going to be supported by 6 4x4s. But the baseboard part of the chicken pen is a 2x6, and I want it to sit about 1.5 inches under the surface of the ground. And I want that baseboard to be level, and that will be the level off of which I build everything else. I want it to be under the surface a little bit, because when I tack on the hardware cloth, we're going to bring the hardware cloth all the way down to ground level and then out away from the coop about the width of a square shovel head. And once we get that buried back in the ground, that'll help keep animals from trying to burrow under and get into the chicken coop. Because we do have plenty of dogs that wander around out here in the country, and that's one of the things I do remember from growing up out here, that my grandmother always had trouble with chickens and dogs getting her chickens and killing them. So we certainly don't want that. So hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to get out here and get started on just clearing the area here. I may have to get the backhoe. I think I want to get the backhoe and I'm going to cut that tree down and then dig up the stump. This tree over here, I'll just cut it off and leave the stump. The reason I want to dig this stump up over here is because, like I say, eventually I want to clear that area out, tear that barn down, and I don't want to have to come in as close to the chicken pen as I will be with the backhoe and try to dig that thing up. Because if those roots have spread out under where I want to put the chicken pen, then I certainly don't want to tear up my chicken pen later on when I come and try to dig that stump up. So I think I'll do that now and make sure that that won't ever be an issue. So that's it for today. Stay tuned and see how all this goes. Thanks for watching. So one last thing, I know I said at the beginning that it appeared that we had decided to spend close to $1,000 on this pen, and I spent $600 today on the lumber and the screws, and about 100 of that was my new present to myself. Got a Porter Cable 18-volt cordless drill and cordless skill saw combo, and a pair of mechanics gloves, because I type for a living. I'm a computer nerd, and normally I don't wear gloves when I work outside, but these were sitting there right by the cash register. 20 bucks. I figured it was probably worth 20 bucks to save my fingers. So thank you for watching, and we'll see how things go tomorrow.